Hey there, this is Matthew Jennings, and I'm here at Peachjar headquarters hanging out with Kellie Brickel, our lead district success manager.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about a very cool topic today. We are going to talk about what does it mean to go through a successful implementation. So if you're wondering what it's going to take to get Peachjar live in your district, stay tuned. So Kellie, thank you so much for joining me today on this. This is a topic actually I've been wanting to explore for a little while. We'll keep this kind of short and brief, but essentially when my team in sales books a demo with the district, they love what they see because they always love what they see, because why would you not? Once a district signs the agreement and decides to launch Peachjar, they come over to your team and you guide them through the rest of that process.
Yep.
So we get asked, I'm going to say in almost every demo, what does it take? What does it mean to launch Peachjar? You know, what is the lift really? And the beautiful thing is, it's not our first time doing it, right? We've done it 1,000 times and we've got it down to a science. And we have a lot of help. And what's really beautiful is that our team truly is an extension of all the district's communication teams out there. And I know that you all do a phenomenal job getting them implemented, getting them launched, but then just ongoing support. So I'd love to talk through some of that, just kind of what that looks like. So when we turn a district over to you, can you walk me through a little bit of what happens then?
Yeah. So as you said, once the contract is signed and you guys have everything buttoned up, we set up a meeting with the district, and that's where your team is introducing the district to my team. So we have what we call our launch call, which is usually about 20-30 minutes, not too long, where we just go over the high-level overview of what we're looking for to get you up and running. So in a nutshell, really all we're looking for is there's a communication piece for implementing, which is probably the bigger piece that actually takes the longest. There's a little bit of tech integration, and then of course training. We want to make sure that the district knows how to use the platform and is comfortable with approving flyers and uploading, things like that.
That's great. And so you had mentioned like communication. One of the things when I launched Peachjar I really appreciated was that you supplied me with sample communication and templates to build from for my parents, my guardians, my community organizations. So can you talk to me a little bit about what that looks like? Yeah,
so we suggest the district send out a couple different pieces of information to let them know that Peachjar is coming. And we give you guys templates for all of your stakeholders. So we have your internal staff. We want to let them know what Peachjar is, how it's going to work, how it's going to affect them, even if they're not the ones that are actually uploading the flyers. So we have communication tools for that. Then of course we have your parents and guardians. We want to make sure that they know what Peachjar is so that they're not just getting, Peachjar flyers and they're like, what is this? So we have those tools. Social media tools are really helpful for that too. So we provide all of that information. And then of course your community organizations. We want to make sure that they know because right now they're already going to be using one piece of communication. They're doing paper flyers, they're sending it to somebody at the district for them to upload for them and blast out. So we want to make sure that transition is really simple and easy for them. So we have some communication that the district can share with those organizations to make sure that that transition is smooth.
That's really awesome. And I know that, and I don't know if this would be encouraged or not. I haven't ever asked you this, but I know that when I launched in my districts, one of the things that I did as a PIO was get in front of the principals. I just attended a principal meeting and talked about what Peachjar was and what our current process is and why the transition to Peachjar will be so much more efficient and effective for everybody. And one of the things that I found was that taking the workload off the principals was very well received.
Yeah.
Because now when somebody walks into that front office at the school, like, I want to send these 400 flyers out to all your kids, they just get to say, all right, reach out to the district. We use a service called Peachjar. There's an icon on our website. Just click on it. It tells you the whole process. It seemed to be just a sigh of relief, just goes through the room.
Yeah.
What are some of the questions you get during those launch calls? Is there anything that kind of comes up or themes where people really kind of dig in a little bit more?
Yeah, so one of the main questions is how long is it going to take? So we do try to make this as easy and as quick as possible, I should say. We do recommend, 3 to 4 weeks is typical, just because we want to make sure that communication does get out. The technical work and the training is really quick. That can be done as quick as you want it to. I've gotten a district launched in a day.
Wow,
we had the launch meeting in the morning, and we were actually up and running by the end of the day. Not suggested, because that communication, of course, we wanted to make sure it got to everybody. But it can be done.
Can be
so
fast.
it's quick, but we do recommend the 3 to 4 weeks, just to make sure everything is running smoothly and people are comfortable with the platform.
And do you kind of provide a timeline and lay it out and then work backwards, like a launch date, and then work backwards from there and map that?
So during that launch call, we have a room that, an enable us room.
Okay.
So that could be another platform that the district's already familiar with. But essentially, we just set up a little calendar for you. We kind of estimate a go live date, and then work backwards. So all of your to-do tasks are kind of listed out, and the dates that those things should be happening. And of course, with all the links, and we provide everything that they need to actually move forward.
That through.
Yeah.
And speaking of providing things that you need, what about sample board policy? Like, say you got a district that's like, well, you know what, we actually, it's kind of the Wild West. We don't have any policy guiding our flyer approval process. Do you have anything to help with that as well?
Yeah, so we actually provide some sample guidelines, just from what we've gathered over the last couple of years of, what we typically see from districts. So we have those sample guidelines that we share. We do have an info page that we'll share with the district that we ask them to put on their website that talks about what Peachjar is, how it works, to include those guidelines. We also have districts that ask, hey, is there a neighboring district that we can take a look at? So we'll share some of their guidelines as well if if they're interested. We all of those pages are public, so they can always go to those other districts' guidelines anyway.
Check those out.
So we share verbiage, language, anything that they may need.
And then you had mentioned websites. So obviously we encourage to set up a web page, lays out Peachjar, the policies, how things work. And then what about the icons on each one of the school websites?
Yeah,
Can you talk to me a little bit about that?
We provide the Peachjar buttons, what they're called, for each of the school sites, as well as for the district flyer board. So those little icons are linked to, and again, we provide all the information. They're linked to each of the school's unique flyer boards. So we ask the district to place those on each school site, so that if a parent is interested, they can click on that icon. It opens up that school's flyer board to see all the live and active flyers there.
A couple of really beautiful things about that. If you are a parent and let's say you receive an email and you're like, oh, I really want to come back to that flyer. You can always just go straight to your child's webpage, click on the Peachjar button, and it pulls up that that flyer board, and there's that flyer. You don't have to worry about saving the email or figuring out where that was or looking back at it. It's always going to be there live on your child's website, which is really great. We've heard from parents a lot that that's a really wonderful feature. The other thing that's great about that, just from a PIO or a director of communication standpoint, is that I don't have to do anything to that.
Yeah.
Like it does it all on its own.
We update it on our end,
and it goes away when it needs to. I don't have to worry about managing a web page, which is really good.
Yeah, webmasters love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Because a lot of times you post information out there on your web pages, and then you come back like 2 years later and you're like, wow, that's outdated.
Yeah.
But that's just not the case with the way our system works, which is wonderful. It alleviates a lot of stress. I mean, the system just in general alleviates so much stress. I know as a PIO, I was spending 20, 30 minutes sometimes a week on approving flyers and going through, are they appropriate? Are they, they bundling them up, all of that stuff. And moving to Peachjar cut that time to maybe 5 minutes a week at the most. With the same workload, which is incredible. So let's talk about one last thing, which is the IT lift. What does it take to get the, connect the information technology side of the house to the school district with our system? Yeah,
super, super easy. It's something that most IT departments have already done before with any other platform. So essentially, all we're looking for from the school district is for them to pull a CSV file from the student information system. Has a couple pieces of information we're looking for, but we ask the district to set up a secure file transfer protocol, an SFTP, and automate that process so they can push over those emails automatically. So it's kind of a one and done thing. We don't connect directly to the district's student information system, which is nice. So they just push over the information that they want to send.
And when we talk about information, it's not like any personally identifiable information. We're talking about a couple of key fields.
School, grade level, and guardian email address.
That's it. And grade level is optional.
It's optional for,
however, we might as well just
really recommended.
A quick plug here and just say it's really important to provide that grade level information, because then the school and the districts can send out grade level specific flyers, which is really nice, targeted to their audience, which is great. Are there anything, as you roll through the system, anything that you would see, maybe a district going through that slows up the process?
There's always life.
Life, yeah.
Life happens. We know how busy the district is, so we are super flexible. That's why we give that 3 to 4 week timeline. Yeah. We want to make sure that we're not cutting into other important tasks and projects that the district is working on. Of course, this may help speed things along in their day-to-day job, but we don't want to take over other initiatives in the beginning. So it's just, life, certain things that happen, that come up. So
I can attest to that. And so the message that I want to get across there is just that we'll work with you. We're flexible. When the team rolls out that calendar and kind of that schedule of when things need to happen and those milestones, any of that can move. Any of that can be, moved around what needs your district or school has in particular. So we will work with you. We know that launching Peachjar in your district is going to really connect parents, guardians, and the community, all your schools at such a deeper level, and it's invaluable. So we want to make that happen. Yeah. I can't thank you enough for taking the time. I know you're super busy. I'm going to let you get back to some work, but I'm going to go wrangle somebody else if I can. Go get another staff member here. We'll do another video here. But I really appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me today.
Yeah, of course.
Well, hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can get a lot of information from our website. You can even sign up for a demo, and one of us on our sales team would be happy to go through any questions you might have and show you exactly what Peachjar is all about. That's it for now. We'll see you later.